Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome to this live reading session with me, Hannah. So I'm just going to wait a moment to see who joins. We shall see, we shall see. I am a couple minutes early, but sure, that's all good. We'll see who joins. But yeah, welcome. We're here on this fine Saturday for some live readings. And it's still pretty cold. But hey, you know what? Pisces season, that means there's only a couple more weeks until spring officially starts. Right, it's the 21st of February today. Yeah, and then spring will be pretty much a month today. So that'll be really good. Hello to Dream Seeker 111. Welcome to you. Thanks so much for joining, for tuning in. If anyone is interested in a reading, the instructions are down below. We'll see who joins, who is interested. But yeah, like I was saying, it's Pisces season still. It's been so awful here where I'm from. So I live in Belfast, and just so much rain. It has rained pretty much every single day for, I think someone was saying 40 days or something like that. Just a lot of rain. And I have my hot water bottle. So I got this. I'm going to show this. I got this new hot water bottle arrived today. It's very soft, so soft, and it's keeping me nice and warm here. It's so big as well. Like, it's massive to me. Probably you can't even tell, but it's massive to me because the other hot water bottles I've had have been a bit smaller. But it's a good thing, really good thing. But anyways, let's see if anybody else joins, or even if you want to say hello in the chat or have a conversation, that's all good too. It's always interesting to talk to people about astrology or just to see how you are doing, right? I think it's good to connect and to ask how your life is going so far. How are you finding even 2026 so far? Of course, we had the conjunction of Neptune and Saturn happen yesterday, the exact conjunction. So that's ushered in a whole new cycle of like 35, 36 years, something like that. So the last one I think was in Capricorn, I believe. Yeah, Capricorn. Dream Seeker, you say that you have been watching my videos a lot. Oh, interesting. Well, I hope that the information has been useful to you. Oh, you are a teenager. Okay. You're very much into astrology. Well, you know what? I hope in that regard that the information is easy for you to kind of digest and things. I do try to simplify astrology in ways, and what I mean by that is I try to communicate it in terms of where people can actually understand it, because I know that there's a lot of jargon. there's a lot of jargon when it comes to astrology. And then that also kind of means that many people who don't know what astrology is, they don't get what each of the definitions mean and things like that. So I hope I can communicate it in a way that is explainable, understandable, actionable too, hopefully practical. And that's a big one. Hello to Carrie Stagner, Carrie, maybe? Is it Carrie? I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. You have a 1-degree Libra moon, so that opposition from the conjunction to your Libra moon, you're saying it's been rough. I'm sorry it's been rough for you. I hope not too bad, but saying that, it sounds like it's been a lot. Hopefully, you're able to do certain things to support yourself, right? Maybe regulate your nervous system when you can. Maybe try and create some kind of balance if you do feel like things are, it's Carrie, okay, sorry. No problem. If you do find that maybe things feel a bit out of balance, or just maybe you don't feel quite like yourself, it could be that. Hopefully you're able to make time and to be proactive about this, right? To support your emotional needs. Yeah. And I do apologize for mispronouncing your name, but yeah, Carrie. It's a lovely name. But anyway, yeah, hopefully someone can book or we can look into some charts. But either way, you know what? It's always good just to chat. We'll see how it goes. This is how it went the other day when I joined. It was enjoyable, even just to chat for an hour. This is very comfortable as well. I'm holding this water bottle and it's so soft. It's so warm. It's just so nice. And it is kind of funny because the secondary regress moon for me is in Cancer. And I think I have another year and a half or something of it to experience. But I do find things have just felt more cozy, or I've just had a greater desire to want to create more comfort and coziness in my life. Hello to Karen or Kieran. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining. I think I recognize your name maybe from comments in the past, possibly. Don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, thanks very much. You say that you are loving the whiteboard shorts. Great. There are so many more to come. I have a lot of ideas, and I think using the whiteboard is a good way to make astrology more understandable and easy to digest, because I can use the visuals and I can be creative too, which is fun. You say that you've got a 28th degree Leo Pluto, with Pluto transits your whole life. Okay. Oh, okay. So 20th degree Pluto, right? And yes, yeah, the Pluto opposition, I was going to say. Yeah. Interesting. Pluto opposition. Of course, that's going to be a lot stronger and more toward the end of the transit, but I'm sure you're already experiencing your own sort of shifts with that, maybe. See how that is going for you personally. Dream Seeker, you've got Jupiter in the 6th. You also have Pluto there. Does it bring a lot of illness? I see that. I feel like that would be a sort of question. Well, one, I am going to be honest. One is when it comes to doing readings, there is an option for that. This is supposed to be for live readings, and it's not really to answer questions here. But if you do want to have your chart read, you can book in the link below. But to actually address that question within itself, I do feel like saying that it would, me personally, I wouldn't find it an ethical thing to tell you that Pluto brings illness, or even, or that with Jupiter, that would mean that things are more lucky. I feel like that would be a limiting view, possibly. Yeah. What is the term? It's very binary. But anyway, I hope that's okay. Oh, okay. So we have Joe. Thank you so much, Joe, for booking. Let's have a look here and let's get you sorted. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me get my glasses on as well. I want to actually clean them a moment, and I'll check as well to see if you left all of your information correctly. Let's have a look. Let me see. Yeah, we have all your information, no problem. Thank you very much, Joe. Sorry, it's Josie. No, it's Joe. Sorry. Is it Joe? Sorry, no, it is. It's Josie. Sorry, my apologies, Josie. And I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly as well. I'm always very worried in case I don't pronounce people's names correctly, because I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude. Anyway, if I do come across as rude, it's never intentional. Anyway, right, let's have a look. let's pull up your chart. Yes. I'm not looking at the chat at the moment, so do bear with me. Let's have a look. That one. Oh. Do you know what we'll do? Just. I'm still sorry, everyone. I'm trying to focus. I want to make sure that I'm putting in this information correctly, okay? Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay. Double check that. Double check. Yeah. Just grabbing your chart. And then I do present the chart before you. Also, oh, hold on. Is it? Oh, Joe is fine. Okay, sorry. Okay, no problem. No problem. Joe is fine. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I realized there it's Jose. It's Jose. Honestly, my apologies. But Joe is fine. Okay. Let's see. See if this. See if this go. Okay, let me have a look here. Let me have a look. You've shown the sun, moon, and rising videos. Oh, nice. Hey, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with me, Joe. Very interesting. I appreciate your feedback, of course, and thanks for sharing those videos with friends and things. That's so exciting to think that you can kind of bond with friends and stuff. Oh, I love it. And hello to Denitsa. Denitsa. Hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And welcome. And you've explained that parts of your chart with the conjunction that's happening for you too. Okay. So, Joe. Also, Joe, do you have a question? Do you have an area you would like me to focus on for your reading? Whilst you answer that, I am just going to grab a couple of other things. Okay. Yep. And then progress. Yeah. I hope this is the right type of chart as well. Oh, get myself comfortable. This isn't that comfortable. comfortable, to be honest. I don't know why. Oh. I'm so fussy. Ah, let's see if you have any questions or areas you would like to focus on. You have always struggled with having an Aries sun, and then your Virgo. So the Virgo part of you, the Aries part of you. Oh, and then the Cancer rising. Okay. These different moving parts. Right. So kind of how how your big three speak to one another, what's the kind of synthesis there? Your Aries wants to be very extroverted and out there. Yeah, but then your Virgo and your Cancer always try to reel you back in. Okay, very interesting. Right, no problem. Thank you for sharing that. And oh, hello, Tim. Welcome to you. Just to let you know, Joe, that I do not look at the chat whilst I am reading your chart. Okay. But I will check back in with you. Okay. So thanks for letting me know. Thank you for booking. And let's begin. Just give me a moment so I can properly take in your chart. Thank you. Okay, let's begin for you, Joe. So the first thing I am going to say here for you, Joe, is that yes, as you rightfully said, you've got this Cancer rising, the Cancer archetype on the rising. And what this can suggest about you is that the ways in which you maybe present yourself or show up in the world, how you maybe even identify to an extent, is that of being quite a security focused person. Maybe, for instance, it takes you some time to warm up to new people. And what I get from that is you're just being protective in a healthy way, particularly when we look at how the ascendant is in the Pluto decan there. And so there can be more of this, reserving influence, the ability to step back and to kind of let people show you who they are, their true intentions, their true colors, motives, all of that. Maybe also you can pick up on things that are maybe hidden, right? So things that are not being said, not being articulated and fully expressed. Maybe you can sort of see through people during certain moments, almost as if you have this sixth sense, right? And maybe, you know what, Joe, you could be someone who you say to your friends, hey, listen, this and that about a certain person. And maybe your friends could brush it off like, oh, yeah, maybe whatever. You're maybe just reading into that, possibly. It could be that whole thing. But then later on, things could actually turn out to be true. Okay. Things could actually happen in a way that makes sense. Then here's the other thing. We want to look to the chart ruler. And the chart ruler is going to speak to a big part of your identity, your personality. And we're really focusing on the personality side of things because this is what you want to know about today, okay? So yeah, the moon is the chart ruler and it's in Virgo. And it's also conjunct Jupiter. So with the moon being this very protective, internal, sensitive part of the chart, what we notice when it comes to you is your ability to analyze, to use your analytical abilities to actually dissect, to read into things, to read between the lines, and to also then validate your experience and to go, yeah, I know, I wasn't being crazy here. I was actually being informed. Then the other thing to note about this is the moon is in the third house of communication and learning. Jupiter also is there conjunct the moon. And this, I think, it highlights something about your internal world, trying to see the best in people, right? Maybe you're someone who is willing to help out a friend in need. You offer your practical guidance, your practical support. And so to kind of look at Virgo and Cancer together, it's this nurturing ability or this caring, supportive ability, but it's followed through with practicality, right? It's followed through with, okay, well, what are we actually doing? And how you can then maybe even make other people's lives that little bit better, possibly uh, through your ability to maybe inform or to educate, to pass on information, with especially Jupiter being there, because Jupiter is so much about broadcasting. And so to have all of this happening in this archetype of Virgo, yeah, there is a type of orderly way that you might show up. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the sun. So the sun, as you rightfully said, is in Aries. And to have your sun in Aries, especially in the 10th house where you're seen, you're noticed, you're so visible to the outside world, what a lot of people see in you is this very active individual, right? Maybe you can come across as very passionate or fiery, as if you're on a mission, right? It can almost seem like you never stop. You never stop. You're always moving, you're always going. There's always somewhere that you're trying to arrive at. And then what I'm also getting from this is just how encouraging you can be. I imagine you being such a great leader within groups, within your friendships and everything. I imagine you, even when it comes to whatever you want to create in the world, whatever way you want to show up, whatever you want to do, you stay true to yourself, right? You're just so authentic and raw to an extent. Then what's also thrown into this is Venus, right? Venus is so much about value and how you even especially value yourself. So to have Venus in Aries, maybe you value people being really straightforward with you, just saying it like it is. But then, here's the other thing. And this is maybe where things can feel or appear a bit contradictory. I think you also equally prefer it when, yes, okay, people can be upfront with you, but it's also the delivery, right? It's also a kind of sensitivity with relation to delivery. I mean, you have Mercury in Pisces, you've got Mars, the ruler of this airy stuff in Pisces. And so maybe what really gets you upset is whenever people are so almost blunt to a fault, or they're too opinionated, or they use their opinions to put other people down. And maybe there's even some type of backtracking stuff that goes on. And you maybe notice the interplay there. You notice maybe the power dynamics and the power struggles that can happen. And it's that ascendant in Cancer, um, with it being in the Pluto decan, that may be able to pick up on those little subtleties, right? And those little nuances. Even the ascendant is making a trine to Pluto, and Pluto's retrograde in the 5th house. So what I'm trying to sort of get to here, it's your ability to sort of pull back the layers when it comes to other people's true motives. And I think even a part of this happens because it's this whole thing of you being able to meet people to a level where you've been able to do that work yourself. It's because you've done the inner work. You've maybe asked yourself those bigger picture questions, or you've been more conceptual about life because you've looked more at the spiritual layers, or those deeper emotional, sensitive layers. Then you could be at a certain standard in your life where you're like, no, that just doesn't hold up the way it used to. And here's the other thing, which is really interesting. You, Joe, have experienced your Saturn return. So that would have happened around 2020, 2022, 2023, something like that, within that ballpark, right? And Saturn is in Aquarius and it's in the 8th house. So, the way I imagine this is your own internal standards upgrading over the past few years. Even to add into this, naturally, Saturn has just left your 9th house. It was transiting the 9th. It hit, especially Mercury for you there very recently in Pisces. So, maybe there is something about these internal standards, these healthier boundaries, where you're able to kind of go, no, I'm not going to just give openly and freely to anybody and everybody. But then here is where your next chapter, the next stage comes in for you, because Saturn is going to travel through the 10th house. It's going to activate your Aries planets over the next couple of years. So imagine it quite kind of like you maturing as an Aries. So, okay, what does that actually look like? And we're kind of going to finish off on this point because these are mini readings. I just have to highlight. But this, for example, Joe, could look like your ability to mature as an independent person, as a leader, as someone with great integrity and self respect. Maybe you'll be able to mature to a large extent when it comes to how you give of yourself within relationships and what you receive within relationships. And hey, this could even be something that's more focused in on a career path, or simply it's more about a role or a position. And it's those very things that are going to be held to a higher standard than what you're used to. And that's also going to be where maybe you step up as a person, as an individual. This is the thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to finish off on this point. Remember that whilst Aries can be seen as this doer, this go-getter, and you might identify with that, Aries is also massively virtuous and honorable. And so to have Saturn traveling through this house over the next 2 years, I mean, it could be a thing where what is upgraded to an extent in your life is this stronger honor related to your ego, related to love, related to connection. Yeah, that's really interesting. So we shall see for you. Do keep in mind, yes, Neptune is also a part of this. Neptune will travel through for the next 14 years or so. There's the conjunction that just happened in Aries. So to touch on Neptune just briefly, I mean, Neptune is going to add a layer of maybe stronger desires to want to co-create with others, or to look at it more from a place of aspiring toward a collective vision, right? Pushing honorably toward this collective truth regarding things that are maybe related to things that are related to your professional life, or what it is that you value in terms of professionalism and success. I mean, the very definition of success could be something that is dissolved or changed, and you grow, right? You maybe grow as a leader, as an individual within this type of area of your life. Anyway, yeah, I said I was going to finish and then I added that little bit, so I do apologize if it seemed a little bit meh, meh, meh. But anyway, there we go. Thank you so much, Joe. There we go. Thank you for booking, Joe, kindly. And oh, we have someone else, I think, who has booked in. Let me have a look to double check. Let me have a look at the comments actually. Good morning, Molly. Hi, Molly. Welcome back. I hope you're doing good. And yes, Pointer 242. Welcome to you. Thank you for sharing. Bum 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 bum. Seeking Justice. Welcome to you. Let me see. Let me have a look here. Let me see who has booked in. And one moment. Oh, Joe, yay! That's so cool. I am so glad that you resonated, and thank you for your feedback. It's always great to have feedback in real time. And hey, happy birthday to you, because it's going to be your season next. Yes, yes. It's going to be your season. Okay, let's have a look. Yes, we have Clara who has booked in. Thank you so much, Clara. And let me have a look here. seeking justice. I'm just going to read what you've said into myself, okay? Um, yeah, the connections between sidereal and tropical. I want to look more into that at some point. I do. So thank you for your feedback. Um, and as for everything that you're experiencing, I mean, that just sounds, it sounds like a lot. It does sound very chaotic and very difficult. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, hey, thank you for sharing. With how this works, I just have to say this. The way that it works is you book below if you do want any assistance or support with your chart. All right. But I will say from what you've explained, it does sound like a lot. And of course, I hope that it's something that you can navigate during this time. Okay, let's have a look here. Clara, I do apologize, Clara. Thank you very much for booking, and I'm gonna get your chart ready. Okay, bear with me because I need to focus. I need to focus. Okay. Oh, happy birthday to your son as well. Okay, Clara. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Double check that. We have a look. Oh, it's a different part. That's why. There it is. There. It's this way. Oh, I have everything. I believe I do. Okay, Clara. Clara, do you have a question or an area of focus at all that you would like me to think about? Let me know. Just to let you all know as well, these are mini readings. And if you would like to book a full session with myself, you can do so by going to hannahselsewhere.com. Okay. Okay. So we have your chart loaded, Clara, and I'm just waiting to see if you have a question, if you have an area of focus. Trying to sort. Okay, so let's see. It's also a business. So what could be next following this situation? Okay, no problem. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, my lips get very dry. Okay, let's have a look. I will be focusing on your chart. So, just to let you know that I don't look at the chat whenever I am reading the chart itself, but we'll check back in after. Thank you, Clara, for booking. I hope I can offer you some support during this time. Hmm. All right. Quite a few moving pieces to try to weave together here. And I'm going to try my very, very best to do that for you, Clara, okay, within the time that we have. So I am going to now begin. All right. First thing that is standing out here is to do with how basically eclipses have been taking place in the second and eighth houses for you over the past couple of years or so, something like that, okay? And especially the nodes, they've been traveling through those houses since the beginning of 2025. Those very houses are financial houses. They tend to be about, okay, the second house is about your personal assets, your own spending, things like that. And then the eighth house tends to be more about combined resources, shared income, that sort of side of things. Debts that may be owed, repayments, loans, all of that. So there's something here, I think, about maybe a cleaning up, a clearing away process that maybe has happened for you over the past couple of years, especially the past 3 years, I would say, because Saturn then has moved out of Pisces. And with Saturn there, I mean, over the past 3 years, transiting the eighth house, maybe this brought into focus. It was a time off. Okay, well, what is yours? What is others? What about you energetically? How have you been feeling energetically? Where maybe have you been misaligned? What has maybe had to be renegotiated or reconsidered over the past number of years, too? Then, another quick thing I noticed actually about your chart is if we look to your secondary progressions, this really jumped out at me. It is the fact that you've got the secondary progressed Sun, Ascendant, and Moon all in Libra. So, what this suggests to me is that you have been undergoing this period, you've been experiencing this period of, okay, well, balance, renegotiating, maybe weighing things out in a different way. What does belong to you? What does belong to others? Which kinds of boundaries have you had to set? Where have things not been so fair and regulated and processed? Where have things maybe been not so much working out in your favor if we really think about that? And then equally, here's the other thing, the moon is in Aries, and there is this type of opposition happening between that secondary progressed sun and the moon in Aries. So, with the moon in Aries, naturally, what this can indicate about your inner world, your emotional landscape, is that you do prefer freedom and personal agency, personal autonomy. I can kind of imagine here, Clara, if you feel or find that other people are trying to come in and demand, right? There's this sort of dominance over you. Maybe what that can send in your mind is just this signal of survival, like, I need to get out of here. This is not fair. I don't feel comfortable in this space right now. And then with all of the Libra planets, the way they've been traveling through, I actually see this, Clara, as you not being super impulsive about this stuff. I actually get from this that maybe you've been able to be quite measured more so than maybe what you were when you were a bit younger. I kind of get from this your ability to manage any sort of impulses and to think about things legally, honestly, right? It's that Libra part of you, I think, that's been able to go, hold on, what are the ramifications of this choice, of this decision? What are the consequences of your actions? So in a big way, I actually see you as possibly maturing a great deal here, particularly when it comes to data, confidentiality, privacy, the online space, maybe contracts, agreements, payments, trade, all of these things, commerce, all of it. Then let's bring more into this. We're also noticing that the South Node has equally been traveling through that second house. And what's going to happen, Clara, is by around the summertime, the South Node is going to move into Leo. So, what is this kind of journey? What's this process? Because this is the thing you want to know. Okay, well, what is the next step? What's going to sort of come about for you? And whilst I'm not here to tell you that things are definitively going to happen, I can offer you some perspective in terms of these new frequencies and vibrations that will be available. And so, whenever we look at this, it could be a case of you aiming to start a new chapter in your life. It could be a thing of you moving away from past dynamics regarding leadership or independence, or thinking more so about your individuality in a new way. There's just something about a fresh perspective, but equally, that fresh new chapter can be met with endings that can be rather challenging to accept too, right? So I imagine what's maybe a part of your story right now is a lot of clearing space, decluttering. Think of it also as it's eclipse season right now, right? We're in between eclipses. There was the solar eclipse in Aquarius that happened on the 17th. And then there will be the lunar eclipse in Virgo, which will happen in your second house on the 3rd of March. So maybe it could be this thing of a call to action, a course correction, where you go, hold on. Whenever I think about this practically, efficiently, this isn't healthy. Or I need to be able to create a different path for myself when it comes to what I'm trying to build, how I'm trying to earn my money, my own personal assets, keeping what's yours, right? It's the right to sort of stand up and be accounted for, and to say, hold on a second, actually, I know my worth, and I'm not gonna sort of put up with that older habitual pattern stuff anymore. And then that could also be where there is a new course of action, a new direction for you that could very well open up. But I imagine this eclipse season as this type of clearing away, right? Clearing the cobweb, so to speak, or making sure that you know where you're at, right? How you can reprioritize things. Even the second house is so much about priorities, right? What is a priority for you right now? So this is what I'm getting from the energetic shifts that could be ushered in at this moment. And just to touch on a moment here, I mentioned that the solar eclipse happened in Aquarius around the 17th. That would have then opposed this Leo stuff happening for you. So the second house, what is the the seventh house rather? The seventh house is about contracts. It's about agreements, partnerships, business. Okay, all of this business stuff. So I'm getting from this the ability to change your approach, your perspective, to change those relationship dynamics, to even see things for what they are rather than what you think they should be. I think that especially with Saturn no longer transiting your 8th house, you could be at a point where you are just final. It's like this finalization of, I'm not just going to hold on to wishful thinking anymore. I actually want to do something here. I want to create something in my life. And then this is what brings us back to the first house. Because what's going to happen here, Clara, is that eclipses will also happen in your first house. The South Node, like I said, will enter that Leo area around the summertime. Jupiter will also enter around the summertime. So, in terms of your new chapter, I just think that we're seeing these energetic shifts, and that those energetic shifts are so self-focused, especially because you already have Venus, you've got Mercury, you've got the Ascendant, you've got Mars, all of this Leo within you. So it's almost like Jupiter could come along and act as this huge self-esteem boost, this confidence boost. Of course, it is about how you tune in with this energy, how you make sense of it for yourself. But I can't help but think that this could be a type of boost or an upgrade where you finally feel like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be defined or told how I ought to be. I actually want more freedom. Then we're also going to put this in, show healthy caution here. I don't think it's a case of just bulldozing through it, just jumping right in. I think what's beneficial about this is Saturn will make a trine to Jupiter, maybe highlighting healthy sort of restraint. Then also, you will experience your Jupiter opposition over the next year, something like that. Just look into the journey of Jupiter throughout the year, but Jupiter will enter Leo around the summertime. So yeah, I think it is going to happen this year. It is. So the Jupiter opposition, sorry for getting bogged down in details. Anyway, the Jupiter opposition could then maybe highlight something about balance. It could highlight something about maybe taking the best of what you have learned in terms of, dealings with working with family, business, partnership. I mean, you have bucket loads of wisdom there. I'm sure you do. You have a lot of knowledge there that maybe, right, you could look at it as, right, things maybe have been difficult and challenging, but you can look possibly at it also as objective truth, right? It's this type of objective reality, objective truth of what you've learned. And then you can take that into this new chapter that could require or could involve different partnerships with different communities, different teams. Even the North Node will travel through Aquarius at the same time. So that could actually be where you expand and grow within those collective partnership spaces. I hope that was I hope that made sense. I hope that was helpful, but I do have to stop it there because we're out of time. Yeah, let's have a look. So go here and let's have a look here. Clara. You managed to get a settlement and everything. Interesting. Well, I do wish you all the best. I hope that even Jupiter traveling through your first house and activating all of those Leo placements in your chart, I hope that you can make the best of those experiences. Thank you for booking. Okay, we have someone else who has booked. Oh, we have another 2 people who have booked actually. All right, let's have a look. Thank you so much, Clara. Okay, I'm going to now load our next reading. Let's see. I do apologize. I'm trying to load the information. Oh, it is loading. Okay. We have, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly here. Ricard. Is it Ricard or Richard? Whichever way. I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly. I hope I am. Thank you for booking. Let's have a look. Let's pull up your chart. Get everything ready. Let's see. Okay. I hope that's correct, the information. Uh-huh. Okay. So my question is, I hope Ricard, is there a question you have or an area you would like me to focus on? And then also I'm gonna grab your chart here, and then we'll see. I'm pretty sure that it's the correct information. See if this is. Let me know if you're in the chat at all. Do you have a question? Even, hey, if you don't want to, obviously, if you want to keep yourself more private there, we can just go ahead and read your chart as more of a general reading. Let me know. And I hope that this is the correct information. So, because I think mostly, isn't it mostly in America? Is it the United States where you do the month first and then the day? I think. Yeah, you do the month first and then the day. It's just where I'm from, we do the day and then the month. So I don't know how you do it in your corner of the world, Ricard. So we'll see. Oh. I might also say for this session that we are fully booked, and then I'll probably come back on tomorrow and do more. But we do have Karen booked in as well for after Ricard. So thank you very much, Karen. Oh, yes, there you are, Karen. Nice. Okay, no problem. Oh, Kieran, sorry. It sounds like Karen, but it's Kieran. Okay. Okay. We'll see. Richard is fine. Oh, Ricard, sorry. Ricard is fine. No problem, no problem. And do you have any question or area? Okay. Karen? It's Karen. Oh, it's Karen. Karen. Okay. Okay. Hello to Edgy. Welcome. And Ricard, if there is no response, I might just jump into your reading then and look at it more overall. perform an overall reading. Things related to the 10th house. Okay, no problem. Let's see. And I'm pretty certain then that this is the chart because, yeah, I've got the all clear. Okay, give me a moment then, Ricard, so I can look at your chart and then we will jump in. Tenth house stuff. Okay. Work related. No problem. All right, let's jump in. Let's have a look. Of course, what has really been ushered in is this Saturn Neptune conjunction, really kickstarting this new chapter for you when it comes to the area of life of, well, your profession, and just even more thinking about your role, your title, what you contribute to society. And what we do want to think about then is how we can build on this, how this conjunction is somewhat more personal to you. So, what I'm going to say is Saturn itself does conjunct the ascendant in Cancer for you. So, already what we're getting here, I think, is that you tend to show up already as someone who's quite self reliant, self disciplined, as someone who can create a plan, right? There can be a plan of action. Someone who's dedicated and hardworking, especially as a way to support your family, to support your loved ones, to provide for yourself as well. And then what we also see is that Jupiter has been transiting your first house since around, I think it's May or June or something of 2025, something like that. And then what could be coming up for you around this time is, okay, well, is it that you are considering growth, considering how you can challenge yourself in a new way, in a different way? Naturally, Jupiter is still retrograde. It will turn direct in the next couple of weeks or so. But basically, what this can highlight is maybe you are reconsidering an older vision or an older perspective, or maybe it's that you feel ready to move in a different direction. And sure, it could even be suggested that things aren't so straightforward. I'll say that. Things might not be the most straightforward. Maybe it could be a thing where you feel like there are blocks or challenges in your way. It could be that. It could even be a physical thing, a health related thing, where maybe you feel like you're ready to move forward, but a part of your health or your body, your physical condition is sort of holding you back. That could be a possibility. But still, it's about how you can navigate this, right? So, what I'm thinking then is let's consider how what will eventually happen in the next coming weeks is Jupiter will create a square to Chiron in Aries. So, we want to consider this Chiron in Aries, especially within the context of you experiencing your Chiron return around this time. And really, well, it was more strong a while ago, but there's just something here, I think, maybe about a new perspective with relation to your identity and your sense of self. It could be a thing where you feel like you've outgrown older narratives related to doing and managing other people. Heck, perhaps you have been in professional spaces where it has been about managing other people. But then equally, what I'm getting from this is it that you're at a point where you've upskilled, right? You've maybe elevated, you've evolved past certain projects that you once did with a lot of effort. Maybe an example of this could be you pouring so much of your emotional energy into a team, into a project, into a collective mission, and then you kind of feel a bit like you haven't been reaping the rewards of that so much, or you feel like you've reached a dead end, or you just simply feel like you've outgrown that version of yourself, right? So, whenever we even look at this as okay, Venus is there in Aries too, and that could highlight maybe this greater ability to work with people, to be quite public facing, possibly. It could be a thing of teamwork and you having to lead a team. But then Venus equally is making a trine to the North Node, a bit of a trine there too to Neptune. So then what comes to my mind here as well, again, we go back to the health related stuff, I think. It could even be a case of maybe you're just ready to embrace a different style, a different method, to not be as confined as you used to be. That could also be what's been coming up for you in terms of Jupiter transiting the first house, aligning with Saturn there. Jupiter rules the sixth house for you, it also rules the ninth house. I mean, you already have Jupiter conjunct midheaven, the sun in Pisces, all of that going on. So, what I'm getting from this is maybe you feeling a greater call to embrace freedom or to move past this outdated version of what work means and what it actually gives you. That could even be a question of what are you actually getting from that process? So, with the transcendence part being said, especially within the context of Pisces, my goodness, well, this moves us into all right, this conjunction. We come back to the conjunction of Neptune and Saturn in Aries, keeping in mind that Saturn rules your seventh house or eighth house, and the Neptune rules the ninth house. This kind of quarter in your chart. So maybe it's about establishing yourself as a leader in a new way, taking what you have already learned regarding ambition and possibly achievement and status and all of that, with Mars being in Capricorn, my word, natally, it's at the anaretic degree. There could be this feeling of self mastery there, or really tapping into and integrating what you have learned regarding leadership within the context of partnerships and contracts and agreements and all of that. And then maybe making that stuff a part of your mission in a different way, a new way. It's almost like being being this achievable, yeah, this high achieving person. It's became so much a part of your muscle memory is what I'm getting from this. It's almost like you know the efforts that you've already put in, and yet this conjunction could be more about not wanting to do the same things that you once did and reinventing yourself in a way and serving a higher mission, a different purpose, maybe involved with a greater meaning related to your independence and your personal agency and autonomy and freedom of, okay, well, maybe you don't have to repeat those same cycles anymore. And then even remember, you've got Mercury and Aquarius too. So I'm further thinking here about giving back to communities. I'm thinking about your ability to be conceptual or more objective about things, to even, do you know what, at times just let the past be in the past and to not feel like you have to rehash it or have to bring it back up again. And then, even to further add to this, you've got the moon in Scorpio. So there is this type of internal transformative part of you that is able to change, is able to transition perhaps from a different job to another job. But there's more. There's more, because what we also see when we look to the progressions for you here, Ricard, is you've got the sun, the secondary progressed sun is in Taurus, the secondary progressed Mercury is in Taurus and midheaven. Therefore, when we add this on, I'm thinking about a greater desire within you just to feel content. Yeah, I get this feeling of contentment and comfort and greater pleasure where you don't feel like you have to put in as many hours, you don't have to push yourself as much. It's finding something that is enough to maybe fuel that hardworking part of you or to satisfy it without being almost consumed and buried in the workload. Yeah, maybe this is a part of where you feel more aligned right now. And then if we close off by bringing it once more back to that conjunction in Aries, this is where we notice a new chapter. This is what I mean by the new chapter. It's a new chapter that is being born based on everything else that you have learned about career already. And it's from that new vision, that new perspective where change is going to happen regarding your independence. Yeah. Anyway, Ricard, that was your reading. I hope it was helpful. Going slow? Yeah, you said you're going slow. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah. Um that's quite a Taurus thing, I guess. Or maybe oh, hold on. Did I did. I did it. Ah. Yeah, I got your breath. That's okay. Phew. Girl, good. I'm not sure if you said going slow, if I was going too slow there, or you were talking about your desire to want to go slow. But anyway, that was your reading. I hope it was supportive. And hello to Nadia. Welcome to you. I hope you're having a good day. All right. So now I'm gonna say yeah, we have Karen. Karen, you are next. Thank you so much for booking. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at your chart. Excuse me. Oh, every time I'm on a live, I hiccup. Okay. Karen, do you have any questions? Karen works. Okay, sorry. Karen works, no problem. Do you have any questions? Yes, so it's huge transition time. And direction indicated to satisfy your Saturn square Pluto. Oh, all right. We will have a look. Thank you very much, Karen. Apologies for the back and forth regarding your name, but we got there. Okay. Oh, this way, this way, this way. All right. I'm just going to say that we are fully booked for today. And if any of you are interested in booking a full reading with myself, you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. Thank you so much. Go here. Okay, we have everything. There we go. Right, we've a bit of water. And I'm going to look at your question again. Oh, Sin City, one more. Are you wanting to book? Sorry. Did I just leave? Hold on a second. 1 minute. Let me try and get that. So are you wanting to book right now? Can you wait till tomorrow? Possibly? Or it's okay. I can put the link back up for you. Let me know. I think I do recognize your name from Instagram. Oh, okay, Ricard, that did resonate with you. No problem. I'm glad to hear it. Oh, the chat was slow. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. No problem. And then yeah, for you, Karen, you want to know about this Saturn square Pluto and any sort of activations. Let me see, Sin City, if you're wanting to book today or if you can come back tomorrow. I did just remove the link, so that was my mistake. Oh, let's see. I can try to grab it here again. If I can put it in the chat, even if you do want to book another one. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to put it in the chat. Do I want to put it in the chat? I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, let me grab the link here so you can book and get you slotted in. Go. Yeah, I'll put it back into the description just because I like to have the little closed section when I can. Okay, I'll put that in. Right, I have put the link back in the description of the video if you try refreshing. Sin City, we'll see if you do book, but hopefully that should work out for you. Let's have a look then at your chart, Karen. I apologize, Karen, for keeping you waiting. I'm going to now have a look at your chart with this Pluto, Saturn square, and these types of activations. Okay. Let's see. Go here. Okay. Right. So let's see. I think we are all good to go then, Karen. Let's begin. I've looked over things. So, right. You want to know about naturally this Pluto square Saturn and certain activations that could very well come up. Well, something pretty interesting, I think, to note here is the fact that the solar eclipse recently happened in the sign of Aquarius around the 17th of February. And it happened in the second house for you. So, really activating your house of your resources, your materials, your earnings, your spending habits, all of that, your personal assets here, Karen. And it was really being triggered to a large extent by this Pluto influence opposite. Look how Pluto is right there. It's 28 degrees. So there could also be these themes of profound change, maybe when it comes to you paying off certain debts or loans. It could be a thing of you feeling like you're finally ready to break free from a type of repayment situation. Maybe also what could be coming into focus here are themes to do with intimacy, right? Intimacy, especially when we look at this through a lens of romance, partnership, marriage, significant others, things like that. Or it could be a case of what's being brought into focus here is this greater back and forth about, okay, well, how do you and someone else, how do you share? And this isn't just, it's not just about finances, it's also energetically, emotionally, it's about vulnerability. I mean, this eclipse could even be highlighting something about your own capacity to be vulnerable, maybe about your fears about the future, maybe about your fears regarding just feeling safe, feeling secure within your body, when it comes to your sense of self, your self-worth, feeling protected and secure within yourself. And then that's the thing too, I think, which is interesting. What also was triggered by the eclipse is the Saturn part, right? We talked about the opposition to Pluto, but Saturn is there too in Scorpio. Now, you've already experienced two Saturn returns in your lifetime. So, what I'm kind of getting here to an extent is, okay, well, could there be this greater integrity and responsibility and ethical principles with relation to vulnerability, with relation to security, and you being somewhat more defined or upfront about what your limits are and what you're not willing to negotiate on or about. That could be a possible thing that's maybe coming in here. And maybe again, what I'm trying to get at is the eclipse could have sort of activated or triggered this, so to speak, right? So maybe over the past week and beyond, naturally, or even on the lead up to all of this, what could possibly be coming up for you are these sort of thoughts and visions and fears potentially to do with the future and to do with your inner security. And hey, you know what? What's even a part of this here is trust. It's possibly just trusting in connection, trusting other people with maybe your secrets, privacy, and that within itself does create vulnerability. But that vulnerability also can be quite scary, right? To sort of let people in on your innermost thoughts and feelings. This could be where it's almost like a part of your ego or a part of your inner world is being cracked open, your heart, even, right? It's this accessibility to your heart. And yes, this stuff it's not just emotional. I think it's also physical. It's also about the material. It's again, it goes back to this feeling of safety within your body. And what's further a part of this story, I think, is to consider how Pluto naturally is very close to Chiron in your chart, right? You have Chiron in Aquarius. Pluto right now is very close to that point. So yeah, indeed, it could be a case of you feel like you're ready to liberate yourself, maybe from a past hurt or a past traumatic experience, or something that might have involved rejection related to the group or communities or other people's labels, and people just projecting their own labels onto you, and you saying, "Hold on, no, I'm not going to be put into a box. I'm not going to be told this and that." So there's this within itself could be a very freeing thing, honestly, where you're just breaking away from so many sort of assumptions and like judgments from other people. And that's the thing too. A lot of this has been triggered by Uranus opposite, this Pluto Uranus opposition. Yeah, what I'm getting from this, your ability to stay firm, to stay true, to who you are and what your personal convictions are regarding your own sense of safety and security, financially, materially, all of this, then we'll want to add more layers onto this, because naturally you do have the sun in Sagittarius, you've got Mercury there, and you've got the North Node there, all pretty close together. So, to add to this, I think that maybe you're someone who has done a lot of inner work in terms of your own spiritual principles, your own morals, your own personal judgments of things, knowing in which ways you've maybe outgrown certain people, maybe outgrowing older stories. It could even be a case of you freeing yourself from work stuff, right? Because the South Node is equally in Gemini. Yeah, maybe you're at a point in your life where you've sort of moved beyond older narratives or stories or conclusions about work, about uh, productivity and having to always do and having to always be on. I mean, you already have the ascendant in Capricorn, you've got Venus there, you've got the moon in Virgo. Let me just put it this way, right? This is what I get from all of this, Karen, is maybe you're someone who has prided yourself to a large extent on your work ethic, your ability to achieve results that are sustaining, that are long lasting. I mean, you've also got Jupiter there in Virgo, activating, highlighting something about this maybe purpose, this higher meaning, this higher calling regarding being of service, being dutiful, being respectful, all of that, being a team player. Yes, very possibly you've been business minded. You've been quite good at creating systems and creating order and structures, but you could be at a stage in your life currently where you just feel like, you know what? I've given so much. I've been there for other people. And now it's time to give to myself, right? It's time to give to Karen. It's time to feel more at peace with yourself. And that could be something that's possibly being difficult to fully respect or accept. And sure, it could also be a thing where you're still making moves, you're still being hardworking, and you're still able to create a future, a life for yourself where you're putting in the effort and everything. I mean, you've got Mars in Scorpio, you've got Saturn in Scorpio in the 11th house. Mars is conjunct the midheaven. We do see this stamina, this perseverance, this willingness to never really let go or to give up. But I also can't help but think that with the North Node traveling through your third house, and then with the South Node, especially as it activates Jupiter in your chart, and then Jupiter rules your 12th, at all that Sagittarius, what I get from this is the unraveling of a peaceful life. Something that isn't as turbulent or as chaotic. And that's not to say that those things don't exist. I think it's more about your relationship with those things. And it's a case of perspective and maybe spiritual qualities coming through here, spiritual truths, and a certain deal or acceptance of surrender, to surrender maybe to the unknown when it comes to even just how you think about yourself and the next chapter for yourself. And then the last thing that I'm going to throw into this is, remember that Uranus is going to move into Gemini from the 25th of April for about 7 years. So that could be a thing where you change your systems, your modes of operation. It could be a thing where you make things more efficient, right? You make the day-to-day more efficient because you're thinking about all these different ideas and you're coming up with solutions to problems, all of that. Like, that could be ushered in. Maybe you could even be quite creative with the way you show up there, given how Uranus will make a sextile to Uranus in Leo, right? I kind of imagine, for example, maybe you getting other people involved with the financial side of things, the security side of things. So then you feel like, you know what, you don't have to carry the load. Yeah, what I'm going to end this on, Karen, is maybe something that you could tune in with. Of course, this is about how this resonates with you, but it could be a thing where you feel like you're just finally ready to give maybe something, maybe the work or uh, the load of just life and responsibilities. You're willing to give that to someone else and to ask for that support and that help. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Let's see. Okay, I hope that was helpful. And let me have a look here. Okay. What I do have to do here is I need to go to the session here and say that we are fully booked because I don't want to overbook myself. Hold on a second, sorry. I only have so much energy, people. Let me have a look here. Ed, I want to answer your question first. Readings, yes, the readings are closed, okay, but I will be back on tomorrow if you want to book tomorrow. Secondly, I want to say that we've got Robert who has booked. So if there is a Robert at all, I'm not sure I don't know if that's we'll see. If Robert is there, let me know. I'm not sure if that's you, Sin City. And Karen, let me have a look here what you were saying. You were born between eclipses? Okay, okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yes, the financial side of things, security side of things there. Well, I will say for you then, Karen, if we think about how those eclipses will continue along that axis for you to do with money and resources and everything, hopefully things can change and you will see more positive changes naturally too. Yes. Okay, no problem. No problem, Robert. We've got you booked in, no problem. Okay, and then Ed, okay, you said, okay, nice, see you tomorrow. Brilliant. Thank you for understanding. I'm sorry you couldn't get booked in. Now I feel kind of bad because I kind of let someone in and then I didn't let you. And anyway, I'm not playing favorites, I promise. It's just that I only have so much energy in one sitting. But anyway, tomorrow. There is always tomorrow. Right, Robert, let's have a look. Thank you for booking. And again, Karen, thank you so much. Thank you kindly for booking. Right. Let's see. Yeah, after this session, I'll put up the next one for tomorrow and we'll come back on. Oh, that wasn't right. Let me have a look. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh, wow. Carol, thank you, Karen, for sharing. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. Robert, do you have a question? Do you have a question at all? Do you have an area you would like me to focus? Our final chart of this session today. It's been good. I've enjoyed this. Though I don't want to speak too soon, because what do you say? I'll probably mess up this reading. I'm joking. Oh dear. I'm always like, oh no, don't get your hopes up. Oh, anyway. But yeah, Robert, do you have a question at all? Yeah, you booked. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I do. I remember you booking. Huh. So let me know, is there any area you want me to focus on? Any events? By the way, see this here? It's so cute. What do you see? Just while I'm waiting. My sister got me this. It's a little honey pot, right? Right? Little honey pot. And then see this? It's, what's this called? The honeycomb? The honeycomb from the bees? I don't know. But you just whirl it and then you put it on your lips. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love it so much. Anyway, right, I need to focus. Focus. Let's see. Okay, so Robert, Scorpio moon, 12th house stuff. Oh no, we'll go for it today. We'll go for it now, and we will see. Right, I'll have a look at the Scorpio moon influence, 12th house stuff, and just give me a moment then so I can just basically assess your chart, whatever comes through, okay? Bear with me. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's begin. Let's begin. And just a reminder that I do not look at the chat whilst I'm reading the chart, and we will go from there. And I hope that this is beneficial for you, Robert. Okay. So, what we see here, you do want to know more about this Scorpio moon of yours. Naturally, the thing to keep in mind is how the moon is quite close to Chiron. Right, let's consider this. Because what could be a very real thing for you is this experience associated with maybe fears of vulnerability, fears of letting people into your emotional world, and maybe holding yourself back quite a bit from actually communicating what you truly feel, especially if those feelings are deemed by you as less than, messy, too much. It could also be a case of times in the past whenever you let people in on your deeper emotional world, right? You could have been shunned, denied, ridiculed, rejected, maybe perceived in a certain way as maybe being too much, too dramatic. Like, why are you making a fuss of this? Why are you making this into a big deal? Maybe it's not that serious, right? These could have been the sorts of messages that you took on, possibly as your own. But then you see the other layer to this is that you could very well reach a stage in your life. And of course, you could even be experiencing this now, but you could reach a stage in your life where you almost invite people into a space of safety and honesty and openness where you and others can communicate from that place, right? From a place of authenticity and greater truth. Almost as if to say, like it doesn't matter what it is, just speak it out loud because it's something about how you feel, how other people feel. Maybe it even could be a thing of you acting as this type of mentor for your siblings, for your cousins, for your relatives, where maybe they feel like they're in a safe container with you because you don't judge them, you don't project things onto them in this perhaps unhealthy way. There's just something I think about you where maybe people feel like they can be open and honest with you and you'll not be afraid about it. It's like you're not going to be afraid to look at shadows, to look at the subconscious and maybe the more sort of darker layers, darker sides of the human psyche and human nature, things like that. Then this could also be a case of where you can grow in your own skills and your own awareness, where in which, with Scorpio, yes, there's something that's quite deep and profound about this archetype, but with Chiron there, it could be a thing where you almost give back to people, where you support people emotionally, right? Maybe that could even be a part of your higher mission in this life or a higher calling in this life. Then this is what leads me on to Cancer. Yeah. This leads me on to how you have Venus and Mars both in Cancer. Moon, of course, rules Cancer. So there's this trine sort of influence going on. So the Cancer part of you in the 11th house could actually show up as you creating that emotional container, that emotional space for other people, where there is that greater sense of security and where people can be passionate and people can express their desires, or where they can show love. I mean, you could be a very family oriented person in this regard, or maybe this is so much about your future, right? This could be about your future self, the type of person that you grow into, and how you evolve really as a person as well. And then it's almost like you can carry forward the lessons related to those past rejections or those fears of vulnerability. You can carry forward those lessons into something that is maybe healing for the collective. It could be literally a career path, a professional life. It could be more about just a way of showing up in the world, a way of existing, where you can be that individual who is able to lean in and help people out. You even have a Virgo rising, right? Virgo is on the rising, the North Node is there. Oh my gosh, even I'm noticing that the Ascendant and the North Node are both 1 degree, 42 minutes. So it's so exact. It's so exact, it's so potent. So, what this can maybe signify is that the trajectory that you take in this life could be that of practically, physically supporting people, right? And your identity, even with how the second day regressed sun is in Virgo too, your identity could be about, okay, well, it's time to bring the best of this Pisces part of you. It's time to make the most of this Pisces part of you that is possibly quite compassionate and caring and can sense things, can feel things, but then to bring that over into ways that are more contained. And it's not a case of you just giving openly and freely to anyone. What I get from this is showing that type of compassion and caring part of yourself in spaces where it can be managed, right? It can be managed effectively, where there is a time schedule, where there is a limitation there. There's a healthy boundary. There is a set boundary. Then another thing we got to remember this, we can't forget this, your sun is in Leo, right? You want to know too about the 12th house stuff. Your sun is already in Leo. It's making a square to this Scorpio part of you. So, one, what I'm getting is as possibly as a result, possibly, of the potential rejections you experienced with relation to maybe your emotions and your deeper feelings, maybe your profound truths, right? As a consequence of that stuff, it could have been where you then started to hide your identity or to hide your self-expression, to hide actually, this is truly what I think and this is what I stand for and this is what I believe in. But then here's the thing. The second I progress, Mars, Mercury, and Venus are all in Leo. The South Node is going to move into Leo by the summertime for about 18 months. Jupiter's going to move into Leo by the summertime for a year. So, what is this suggesting to us? So much is happening in this 12th house area, this type of compression. So, what I get from that compression is your willingness to just go, I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with having to pretend anymore. I am going to be myself. And if people do not like it, then it's not up to me to manage that for other people. Yes, we do want to be mindful here of, um, looking at this to such an extent where you're not being nuanced, right? Or you're not considering the complexities, right? It's not black and white, is what I'm trying to get at. But I do sort of get this ushering in of a new warmth, a new generosity, a new sense of I accept who I am. Like I like my passion, I like my enthusiasm, I like my intensity, I like my sensitivity, right? There's just so much about liking yourself and accepting yourself and this authenticity. But here's the thing, it's not about looking outside of yourself for that. It's not about this kind of desperation of, oh, I need people to see, I need them to understand. It's so internal. But that's the magic. That is the beauty, that when it comes from within, it radiates outwardly anyway. It means then by you looking within yourself and through that lens of self-acceptance, then what this actually can do is that people are drawn to you. There's a greater magnetism. That within itself, I think, could speak to greater freedom and internal truth, right? And then naturally, too, this is going to require some effort, right? It's still this effort that is to be put in throughout the process of maybe questioning what your intentions are, what your own motivations are. And you've already got Mercury retrograde in Leo. So, to me, what this suggests is that your internal processing is already so deeply introspective. However, I am going to finish on this note, Robert, by saying this, and it could be something that you already can notice, or it could be something that is a challenge that you can step up to, okay? So, this is to do with trying not to be so self focused, right? Because the compression of Leo, self focused, that you forget almost to look outside of yourself and to really say, okay, well, what are people contributing? That could be a North Node thing through Aquarius as the South Node goes into Leo throughout the summer for 18 months. Equally, the North Node goes into Aquarius. That's in the 6th. So, indeed, the key here to make this work for you is to, yes, accept yourself, but it's equally to look at how what you're doing, how you're contributing impacts the group as well. It's to gain that feedback from other people to see, okay, well, where's the evidence for that? And this could also be where possibly new routines come into place, new strategies, new ways of you maybe contributing to a community, to a larger audience or a group that is possibly work related. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. that's yours, Robert. That was your reading. We are out of time. Of course, that was a mini reading, and I hope everybody, your readings were helpful. I hope that was helpful, Robert. And I hope I hope I wasn't too hard on you or anything at the end there. Yeah, we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. This has been this live reading session with me, Hannah. And to those of you who are looking to book tomorrow, I think it was Ed, you were saying, yeah, I will possibly get that uploaded today, and then we'll see. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Have a lovely weekend, even if you don't get on tomorrow, or if I miss you tomorrow. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. And Robert, you said looking forward to the next one. Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm assuming then you enjoyed that. So that's a good that's a good sign. Okay, I'm definitely going to get going. Have a lovely weekend. And to those of you who will be on tomorrow, possibly see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.